Hey, what's up guys, Sir Emanon here, and welcome to another feature match commentary on the channel today. So this is going to be round 7 of the LCS 3v3 that's happening this weekend, and it's going to be the first round of Swiss. So this is going to be featuring Gino Meister on Sky Striker Eldlich actually, which is pretty interesting, versus Ricardo Fort aka Ryan Ortiz on Dragon Link. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and just get started. Looks like they're waiting for the round to start and then just having some friendly chat. Not going to read through that, but looks like Striker Eldlich going to be taking the RPS win. So they're actually going to opt to go second here. Not too surprising because it is probably Striker heavy. So the opening hand for Dragon Link is going to be Nibiru, Ravine, Safer, Gamma, and Boot Sector. So quite a good hand. It does suck to draw both of the searchable field spells in the deck, but this is still a starter at worst, so it's not horrible. And definitely can still combo with these two, as well as having 2 hand traps for going second. So definitely was a strong hand. And then the hand for Striker Eldlich is going to be Scarlet, Foolish Goods, Terraforming, Book of Moon, and Widow Anchor. So a very, very interesting hand to see Foolish Goods. Because I guess this works with both the Eldlich and the Striker packages. If they're on, say, Metaphors Fusion, which was like a really, really old thing at this point. We haven't seen this card since Engage got banned. Throwback to that. But yeah, pretty interesting. And then Book of Moon, I believe for this event, is ruled against Virtual World as follows. If a Virtual World hand effect is targeting a Virtual World monster on the field, and then Book of Moon is chained to target that same VW monster in the field, I think it's ruled that the VW hand effect does not resolve in that case. I could be wrong, but I believe that's how this is ruled for the event. Somebody can correct me if I'm mistaken, but we're going to proceed here. So Dragon Link going to start up with a normal summon Safer. Going to use that effect. That's going to grab a copy of Collapse Serpent. Oh, also, if you guys are wondering, both of these teams are X1. So going to summon that Collapse Serpent by banishing the Safer, and then going to link away for a copy of Striker Dragon. That's going to trigger the Collapse Serpent for Wyvern Burster. Already drew the Sector. Unfortunate, but not the end of the world. Going to Ravine next. That's going to pitch Gamma, and then send a copy of Absa Router Dragon. Router effect to grab Tracer to hand, and then going to banish the Collapse Serpent for Wyvern Burster, and then link summon a copy of Ferratic Seal. And then from here, going to go for Boot Sector launch. That's going to summon a Tracer from hand. And then going to Tracer to pop the Boot Sector to summon out Recharger. And then going to make either Chaos Ruler or Savage. Let's see. It's going to be Savage. So Savage effect. That's going to equip Striker Dragon and going to pass. So a bit of a different approach from the other Dragon Link player that we saw in round 2. Roberto Arlt, I believe. Or Arlt. So yeah, normally that player tends to go into LP and then Striker Dragon and keep comboing, or it goes into Chaos Ruler, but Ryan choosing to go on Savage instead. So this is still a reasonable follow-up because Seal is just a crazy card, and has Nibiru to back things up in combo matchups. But this is, of course, Striker Eldlich, so this is probably not going to be live. Top deck is going to be Walkero, pretty decent. Has quite a few Eldlich cards if you're counting the Foolish Goods, which could flex as either engine, which is nice. Gonna start with the Book of Moon, that's going to force Savage Negate. And then going to follow that up with a copy of Foolish Goods. It's going to send Metaphors Fusion. So there it is, actually. So that puts the 3rd spell engraved to make Widow Anchor alive as well, which is pretty good. Going to Widow Anchor, target the Seal. That's going to prompt the Seal to bounce the Striker Dragon. Thinking on bounce. Yeah, this is not an option to be bounced. Just by game mechanics, if a spell card, like a normal spell or a quick play spell or like a normal trap, would, on resolution, normally go to the graveyard after resolving, then it's not an eligible card to be bounced with a card effect. That's just a game mechanic. That's not explicitly stated anywhere in like the rules, but that is a rule. But anyways, Seal effect in graveyard going to be summoning out Chamber Dragon Maid, and then Chamber effect on the field, that's going to search for Hospitality for next turn. And then Fusion in graveyard, that's going to shuffle back and then draw a copy of Walkero. Not that good. Terraforming going to add Area 0. I guess at the very least, it's 0 fodder. So going to set the Walkero and then Area 0. Going to target the Walkero. That's going to hit pretty much nothing, just another Area 0. But now Ryan, I think that's the first glimpse of Eldlich cards. So now he knows more of the matchup. So Gino's going to send the Walkero to graveyard. And then going to set 2, and then end phase, going to activate Walkero. So that allows him to set Scarlet. And then just pass. For turn, we're going to see the top deck be Quick Launch. That's a very strong one. So that's going to allow Ryan to push through this. There's only one disruption in the form of Walkero, and I don't think it's enough. Main phase is going to activate Quick Launch. That's going to summon out Tracer from deck. And then from here, going to Synchro Summon a copy of Chaos Ruler. So that's going to Excavate 5. Let's see what the hits are. Synchron, Gamma, Ash, World Exit Guard Dragon, and Chaos Space. So Chaos Base is a nice hit with Collapse Serpent banished here. And I believe you just take the Rocket Synchron. Because we have normal summon, so we can go for the Router and keep going. Pretty good. And then from here, looks like that was a misclick. Going to go for Hospitality. Gino is thinking. Considering using a Walkera on the Chamber, because reasonably, even though this card doesn't target, that's the only applicable choice for Hospitality to bring back. And, obviously, because it's Dragon Link, not like pure Dragon Maid. But I think you just wait on the Walkera. I think there's better cards to hit. Probably you would hit Recharger, I think, or maybe Chaos Space. Or you can like hold it for Chaos Ruler, I guess, if it goes to grave. But yeah, this is going to resolve. So Chamber hits the board off the Hospitality, and then Chamber effect to grab Tidying. And then from here, going to go into a copy of Nightmare Phoenix, actually. Kind of surprised that he found space for this, but going to come in handy here. So that's going to pitch into Biru to hit the Walkero. Very good hit, because the Scarlet would have not really been forcing anything. Because this one was known and these two were unknown. So we got the 50-50. Walkero going to be chained as well as a Scarlet, so that's going to summon out Golden Lord, and then Walkero going to hit something. Tough call, because like Synchron can also bring back the Chaos Ruler now because it is level 5 or higher. So maybe you hit this because it can also be brought back by itself. But also like hitting Recharger is strong. And hitting Chaos Base is strong. Honestly, there's just too many targets to hit off Walkera. I don't think any individual one is going to be enough. So gonna pick the Chaos Ruler. I think that's a fine choice, but it's just not gonna be sufficient. Thinking here, gonna activate Chaos Space. That's gonna put back Collapse Serpent. Oh no, gonna put back Chaos Ruler. I forgot that was just banished, so that works too. That's going to draw World Legacy Guard Dragon. And then going to now activate the World Legacy Guard Dragon, which is like an insane top deck, by the way. So that's going to bring out Tracer. So now his options are like even more widespread, right? They're more vast. Hulk gonna hit the board actually here. That might have been Unicorn, but this works. So that's gonna summon out another copy of Rocket Synchron. We see in a lot of players on 2 of this, just because it's like really, really good in this deck. As a normal summon, like follow-up play, and also just like to work with Hulk plays. Going to go for a copy of LP, and then gonna Guard Dragon move the LP, and then use LP effect. Gonna summon out Brotar, and then Brotar effect that's gonna pitch the Tidying, and then search Levianeer. Honestly, I thought he was gonna pitch the Tidying when he went for Phoenix originally, since this is an extender in the graveyard, so like it has another body to work with. But this is definitely good. Getting Levy access is gonna all but seal up the game. He knows the card in hand is Area 0, so he has no fear of hand traps. So just gonna activate Levianeer, banishing Lights and Darks. That's gonna clear the board. And yeah, that's going to be the end of game 1 for sure. Yeah, because he knows that there's Tidying in grave and Borosword is going to come down. So solid from game 1 for Dragon Link for sure. Interesting to see how Striker is going to adapt, or Striker Eldlich, I should say. But let's go ahead and move into game 2 here. So it looks like Dragon Link going to actually be forced to go first again. Quite fascinating. So the opening hand for Dragon Link is going to be Rocket Synchron, Brotar, Boot Sector Launch, Quick Launch, and World Legacy Guard Dragon. So this hand's very good for sure. Like these two is super strong, and then even hard drawing Brotar is nice. Like plays around Gamma. So it does suck to draw this 2 games in a row, but I mean I don't think there's too much to complain about here. And then the hand for Striker Eldlich is going to be Double Shark Cannon, Curse Eldlin, Ray, Widowmaker. I wonder how many hand traps Gino is on, because we've seen none throughout any of these games, even off like the Area Excavate last game. So I don't know. Seems kind of risky to try and play this against like all the combo-oriented decks right now, but who knows? We've gotten this far. I did mention I believe both these teams are X1, but gonna go and start up with Quick Launch. That's gonna summon out Tracer. Or at least I think they're X1. Let me go check the pairings thing real fast. I have all of them saved to my desktop. Let's see. Let's just do a quick search. You guys can fast forward if you don't want to listen to me do this. Okay, no. So actually, Ryan's team is X1, and then the other team is X11. Okay, so actually does make a difference. But anyways, gonna go Quick Launch for Tracer, normal summon Brotar, then go for Romulus. And then Romulus effect, that's gonna grab Ravine. And then activate Ravine, that's gonna pitch the Rocket Synchron to send a copy of Chamber. And then gonna World Legacy Guard Dragon back the Chamber. And then Chamber effect to grab probably Tidying here. And then from here, going to link for a copy of the Guard Dragon LP, and then going to use the Guard Dragon to move LP, and then LP effect, that's going to summon out Safer. And then going to link away Safer for the Pisty, Interesting that he chose not to use Sacred Effect there. Maybe gonna bring it back and then use it? No, gonna Pissy back the Barotar, which is pretty good, because Barotar can trigger here. That's going to search for a copy of a Levy. Then going to link into Saryuja. Very different approach from the other Dragon Link lists that we've seen. So that's going to draw Rocket Synchron, Collapse Serpent, Recharger, and Ash. So hey, he drew the card that Safer was supposed to search for free anyways. Also, we have Tiding as an extender. And he didn't bring back Tracer. I mean, I guess he hasn't gone through Striker Dragon yet, so that can just be added back to hand and then summon off Boot or summon off Saryuja. That's fair enough, I guess. But yeah, I think missing the Safer there could have mattered for sure. That's going to put back 3, and then going to summon out Collapse Serpent by banishing the Safert, and then going to link for Striker Dragon, and then trigger Striker and White Dragon, or sorry, Black Dragon to grab Boot Sector and White Dragon. Oh. Ryan, I think, is forgetting quite a few effects here. I think he forgot the Collapse Serpent as well. I mean, it is the first round of the day. Probably still a bit tired. But yeah, Striker Dragon effect is going to target itself and the Tracer. And then going to Saryuja special the Tracer out of hand. And then going to special out the Chaos Dragon Levianeer. Levianeer going to rip a card. Let's see what the pick is. It's going to be the Shark Cannon, one of them. And then going to link those away for a copy of Seal. And then Tracer to pop the Ravine to bring out Recharger. And then Synchro for Savage. This is pretty decent. Yeah, like has pretty much the same interruptions as the last time. Except we got Ash off the Saryuja. Gonna pass on this. Ooh, for turn it's gonna be Forbidden Droplet. Not bad. That could definitely shake things up. Main phase is gonna activate Curse Eldland. Use that effect, so the activation of the card is fine. The activation of the effect is gonna be Ashed. And then gonna actually activate Forbidden Droplet, sending away Curse Eldland, and only sending away 1. Gonna chain Savage to that as Chainlink 2, and then Widow Anchor gonna negate Savage as Chainlink 3. And then Resolution Droplet's going to negate the Hermetic Seal. And then going to use Curse Eldon effect since it was sent from Field's Grave via the Droplet, which is a cool interaction. That's going to send the Conquistador. And from here, going to normal summon Ray. And then link off into Kagari. That's going to add back the Widow Anchor. And then going to go to Battle Phase. And crash into Savage. So Seal was the one with Droplet, and then, yeah, because it had to be Chainlink 3 Widow on Savage, because if it was Savage, yeah, if it was Widow on Seal, then Savage would have successfully negated Droplet, which wouldn't make any sense. Yeah. And then gonna go up, or am I wrong here? Oh, okay, yeah, so, yeah, there was just a confusion there. I think he also thought that this was negated by Droplet, but no, it was negated by the Widow. But yeah, gonna crash Kagari actually to bring Ray back, and then going to attack into the Heavenly Spheres. That's gonna activate its effect to tribute for cost. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, in response to the Widow Anchor, I think he should have chained Seal to bounce the World Legacy Guard Dragon, because that would have been good follow-up for next turn, and there was just no better chance to use it anyways. So I think that was also kind of a bit of a misstep. But gonna go and summon out Router, because this paid cost. It was negated on the field, but not negated in the grave. So Ray gonna tag out, and then gonna go for Hayate. That's gonna attack directly, and then use the Hayate effect. That's going to send a copy of Area 0. And then going to go for Shizuku in main phase 2, set Shark Cannon and Widow Anchor, and then end phase, go and use the Shizuku. That's going to grab a copy of Multi-Roll. And then Scarlet going to be set off the Conquistador, and then going to pass. In the end phase as well, we're going to see Tiding. That's going to bring back the Chamber. And then Chamber effect, that's going to grab a copy of Hospitality. And then it returns to hand, of course, because of Tiding. And then going to draw for turn. Oh, that is a sick rip. Okay. Well, that is a game ending, because even though we have a negate and a banish, and even though Widow can steal, it's not gonna matter, I don't think. I'm sorry. Gonna activate the Feather Duster top deck. It's all skill, I promise. Big skill. Gonna chain Widow Anchor and then chain Shark Cannon. So target Router and Recharger. I'd like to summon both. Yeah, just trying to wall up here. And then not gonna use Scarlet. Interesting, choosing not to Scarlet there. Oh yeah, actually, yeah, you can't Scarlet because then you just can't tag out into Ray. Or not tag out, but you can't float with Ray and then go into Kinda. Yeah, definitely don't Scarlet there. That's correct. Gonna activate Boot Sector Launch, and then Sector to summon 2 out of Grave. Yeah, that is just so strong. I don't think we even used Tracer to summon... Oh no, the Recharge is literally right here. Whoops. Gonna normal summon the Chamber. Use that effect to grab another Tidying. So pretty big Dragon Maid package overall. Gonna Synchro into a copy of Chaos Ruler. And then use that effect that's going to mill 5 and then hits Gamma. Not exciting, but it's effective. Also Chaos Ruler, not effective, but I mean, it's a free card, I should say. Chaos Space also can shuffle back the Collapse Serpent, which is decent. So that gets added for free. And then gonna think here. Gonna Chaos Space, put back Pissy actually. And then gonna grab a Rocket Synchron from the top deck. Actually, this is still on field, and Shizuku pointing this way actually is quite nice for Pissy plays. Really, really cool. Hospitality, bring back the Chamber. And then going to turn that into a copy of Pissy. And then Guard Dragon to move it. And then Pissy effect, that's going to bring back Seifert. And then going to link into a copy of Delindrous. And then Synchro into Hot Red Dragon Archery Abyss. This card's really cool. This has a hidden effect that people forget about where you summon a tuner when this card inflicts battle damage, and that definitely comes up. Chaos Ruler to bring itself back by banishing a Dark and a Light, and then going to link everything away for Boros Sword, and then going to Seifert, banish to add Levy, and then going to go to Battle Phase, actually. Are we out of lights here? I guess we are. Yeah, no lights. So funny enough, maybe it was better to actually just leave the Gamma in the graveyard. But that would have required like a lot of planning ahead. All right, going to activate Ray. Yeah, that's not how that one works. This one negates cards in the field, like you target a face-up card. Oh, okay. He's using the hot red to. Okay, I got confused there too. All right, no. All right, I was with the opponent. Yeah, even though I was just talking about this effect, but yeah, it would be technically though, hot red as Chainlink 1. Actually, wait, no. This would actually be. Okay, this is where damage step rulings get really muddled. I'm quite sure that the battle damage gets inflicted before the Shizuku gets destroyed. So I think, somebody can also correct me if I'm wrong here, but I believe it should be Abyss activating in a chain by itself while the Shizuku is still technically not destroyed yet, or at least sent to the graveyard. And then that activates to summon back the Tracer. And then the Shizuku gets destroyed from the attack, and then the Ray activates. So these don't even activate in a chain. So I think that's how that should technically work. But that's kind of semantics here. Regardless, there's just no responses. So Boros Sword going to attack an array. Going to use Ray effect to tag out. That's going to go for Kagari. Kagari effect. That's going to be negated by the hot red. And then replay, going to Boros Sword, and then use the effect. It's going to take 3k. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no, it's negated, so only 3750. And Boros Sword to switch hot red to defense, and then going to attack over Recharger. And then main phase 2, going to set the Tidying. He knows the last card is multi-roll. Yeah, Dragon just wins this game for sure. And then that is going to be a Levy effect to banish 3 darks to rip out the multi-roll. And then gonna pass. Yeah, this goes back because of the, of course, Widow Anchor. Scarlet to set Walkero. And then the draw is going to be another Scarlet. So I mean that technically is okay, but it's not going to be enough here. Yeah, and that's going to be the end of the match. So Dragonlink taking it 2-0 against Striker Eldlich. Yeah, I just think that like without hand traps, it's super hard to come back. And then there's just not really a lot of ways to remove the resources because Dragonlink has a lot of follow-ups. Really, really good. But that's going to be it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like as well as any thoughts or feedback in the comments. Subscribe for more informative and competitive Yu-Gi-Oh content. If you want to, you can follow me on all social media platforms or support me via Patreon TCG Player, all the links in the description as usual. And until next time, I'll catch you in the next video. See you guys.